Hi and welcome back to the channel. Tonight I'm going to show you how I buff a car. But first, um, I want to get some information. All the guys ask you to subscribe and hit the like button. I know what subscribing does. It makes it easier for you to find the rest of the stuff on a person's channel. You hit this, you go to their channel and everything's there. The like button, what's that for? I mean, is that for advertising? I mean, if I get enough likes, somebody starts advertising, wants me to advertise. I don't know what it's for. In any case, everybody asks you to hit the like button. So I guess I will too. And I guess I'll find out what it's for that way. I don't care to get any advertising. I'm not doing this for the money or anything. I'm doing this for the hobby. Um, I painted a 61 Plymouth a few days ago that I'm taking to a show in Chadwicks, New York, which is just south of Utica, New York. The Spring Thaw show. And when I was putting the paint together, I wanted a purple. And I had bought, I don't know, 50 cans maybe of paint from a auto parts store that was changing brands. So I got like 50 pints of paint pretty cheap. One of them was Boysenberry Pearl Coat. My wife says, well, that's purple. So I took it out to my shop that I set up just for painting model cars. Opened it up and it was just a dark blue pearl coat, no purple to it whatsoever. So I had some bright red sitting there, and I said, I know blue and red make purple, so let's try it. I put some bright red in there. It came up with a neat color. It's mostly maroon, but it's like a color shift with the blue metallic, the pearl coat. So you look at it sometimes, and it's it's blue, and other times it's maroon. Now on round cars, that really stands out. That really active on a round car. So while I was mixing the paint, I said, you know what? I got this 41 Plymouth body that I'm going to take to that show and sell as a painted body. Today would be a good day to paint it, and that would look great on there. So I got it painted, and before I started this video, I did some of the sanding and buffing on it. And what I'm going to do here in a couple seconds is turn this around and show you what I do. It's a little different than most guys, I'm sure, at least that I've seen on YouTube. So give me just a second and I'll get this thing turned around. So I've already done the top and the hood. I've already done those, and both of them had little imperfections in them. The top had some dirt right about here, and the hood had some kind of I don't know, it looked like scratch or something across it right through that area. But as you can see, they're both gone. Maybe the light's not good enough now. I don't know. We'll see. So what I'm going to do is show you how I do this. And this is just my way of doing it. Doesn't mean it's right. It's just what I do. So I got some 4000 grit sandpaper here. I know a lot of guys start out with maybe 4, and then they go to 6, and then they go to 12. I've seen that on YouTube. Excuse me. And but I think they're hand rubbing them when they're done. Now this is acrylic urethane for car finish, and it's got some clear on it that really, the clear came out quite nice. It laid down pretty good. But it had some imperfections in it. There's a couple of spots here in the trunk. So I'm going to show you how I sand those out and how I buff them. So I'm not putting any pressure on this at all. I'm just barely running it back and forth, sanding. And again, it's 4000 grit. I'm not putting any real pressure on it. If anything got in there, if a little chip got in there, that would scratch the paint. Maybe beyond repair, I don't know. But you can feel a little chip of dirt right in here underneath there. There's a little chip of dirt. The rest of it feels pretty good. So we'll dry it off and see what shows. Yeah, there's a little tiny one right here. So we'll work on it a little bit more. You want to sand with the body when you're doing this. Front to back, front to back. You go the other way if there's anything left in the paint at all that buffing and waxing didn't take out. They'll show going the wrong way, and it actually is shows up more than if you hadn't buffed it, really. Boy, I got something here. So I've got it sanded, and my little chip my little chip is gone. So now I'm going to get out my buffer, which is a Dremel tool, and some rubbing compound. Now this is what I use for rubbing compound. It's what I had when I was doing body work on 1-to-1 scale cars and detailing. And it's supposed to be safe on clear coats. So that's what I use, is because I had it. There's lots of other things out there. I don't think you want to get something real aggressive, because it's, you know, it's just a small car and it's clear coat. So you got to be a little bit careful. So we'll put a little bit of this on here. And then this Dremel tool I bought from Harbor Freight. It was like $59. I just got this yesterday. The one I had before this, I bought for $10 at a flea market, and it served its purpose until it didn't. So then I had to go out and buy another one. Now this starts up on a medium speed, and that's a little bit too fast. But you can use it faster than low speed. Now right in here, inside this, just below this wheel, is the deck lid molding, the trim on there. And I need to stay away from that as much as I can, because this will wear the clear and the paint right off it. And then you've got a bare molding that won't look so good. It'll be plastic. So with the wheel turning the way it does, it's turning this direction, I can go down on this lid. And that, I say that only because I buffed the rest of this car, and when you're up here, when it goes in this direction, if you get down under that windshield, it'll throw this car and sometimes catch your buffing wheel and end up making a mess. So you have to be careful when you get to this edge. Remember, the wheel's going this way. When you get to this edge, that wheel will catch underneath there and maybe take the model right out of your hand. When you're on this edge, it's going down, so it does not catch. Same thing here. That's just a little information, word of warning, if you want to call it that. When I was doing 1-to-1 cars, we used to use I have a big, heavy Milwaukee buffer that's as big as some of these big Sawzalls they make. And you catch an antenna with that thing, it'll take the antenna off. And I've caught door handles with it and have it knock me right on the ground. Be squatting down next to the car buffing. Next thing I knew, I was sitting against the wall trying to figure out what happened. And that's because that wheel got caught on something. So having said that, you see right there, it just got caught on that window casing because I was going the wrong way. So you just take your time, not putting any pressure on this at all. Just letting the wheel do its work. That trim right there on that quarter panel, on that trunk that I told you about, I've just barely touched it, just enough to basically just cleared the compound off. I didn't really let it work. I just cleared the compound off it. You want to try as much as you can to go with the car. If you go into a used car lot sometime, take a look around. You'll see where guys have buffed up and down like this, or halfway across the trunk. Then they stand over here and do the other half. Well, you see those lines in there. It leaves a faint line, but under the sunlight, it's not faint anymore. It jumps right out. And so you want to go with the car. It looks much, much better if those lines are left in there. But we're going to work at getting those out also. Just that on the 1-to-1 scale car, there's a lot of paint to do that with. So 2 or 3 times over this will usually do it. The top I had to do, I think I did it I buffed it 4 times because there was a little bit of dirt up there that I had to get out. Now the sides of this car, I'm only going to hit it once, and that's because it came out so good and there's no dirt in it. I just want to knock that toyish high shine off that comes with clear paint. All right, let's see what we got. That looks pretty good. There's no marks left in it, no sand scratches, no dirt. So now we're going to get out this stuff, which you can get online. It's 3M, hand glaze, $59.90. You can buy it in smaller containers like that compound that I showed you. This will probably last me the rest of my modeling life because you're only using just a drop or two on each panel. So we put a drop of that in this cloth. Now, typically this is a little bit thicker, but I've had this a long time, and I think what happens, I left it in my car one time. I detailed a car at a guy's house, and when I left it in my car, it got hot, and it's kind of thinned this out. It still seems to work as well, but originally it's, what's it like? More like that compound I showed you in thickness and consistency. So we're just gonna rub this on here. Not really trying to do anything except almost like rubbing this into the paint, if you will. So then I got another one here, a little cleaner cloth. We'll buff it up a little bit more. And then I have one that is really dry for buffing it, for just cleaning the whole thing up. I think I'm probably going to do this again. I usually do it a couple of times to get it looking really, really nice. Now the rest of this, you saw in a second when I picked that back up, you'll see that there's some of this compound, this glaze, in the seams between the body and the trunk. And that's not a problem because I found out that a nice soft toothbrush under warm water, and you can scrape that right out. You just brush it out, and it doesn't leave any brush marks on the car whatsoever. Just take it under some running water, brush it, obviously in the direction of the seam, and it'll come right out real nice. And you have a nice clean car when you're done. So that's what I've done on the whole upper sides of this Plymouth. Oop, I left some stuff on there from earlier. So it comes out real nice and clear. No sand scratches, no dirt, no anything like that. And I think you can see that in certain lights, you get some blue to that right there. And then, then the back half is purple or maroon. And that's not that paint shifting or color shifting paint. This is just something that I made by mistake trying to get a purple color. So I like it. That's how I do mine. I can tell you that you do have to be careful, especially if you're not using the paint, the clear. The paint, if you don't go through the clear, you don't have to worry about what kind of paint you've got. But I use an automotive clear and an automotive paint gun. So it's not an airbrush. So we're probably putting more paint and more clear on there, and I can get away with a little bit more as far as sanding. But I just thought that you'd like to see another way to do it. I don't know if you want to do it that way or not. That's entirely up to you. But I like this. I think it works well. So this is something that'll be for sale Sunday. I'm going to a show. I'm going to show some cars and sell that. I hope to sell that along with 3 other ones. I got the Revell 67 Pro Street. That's just a body. I honestly can't tell you why I've got just the body. Maybe I used the Pro Street stuff on, yeah, probably on a, I did actually. I used the Pro Street stuff on a pickup. You know, the tubs in the back and the engine and so forth. So I was left with a body that I needed to do something with. And then I've got a 57 Ford 300. That's going to be for sale. That's bright red. The Chevelle is a maroon. The Ford is red. And let's see, what else have I got? 64 Plymouth Belvedere. That's red. I got a, I'm not sure. Oh, I use that. Actually, I use that kit. The rest of the kit for the 61 Plymouth that I painted this color to put in the Slammer class in the show. So anyway, I don't know if you learned anything. Maybe I didn't show you anything you knew. But I just thought it'd be interesting to show a different way of doing it. I know a lot of the other guys do them different, but they use different paint. And this is what I'm used to. I've painted for years in body shops, and so I got used to that paint and that system, and that's what I do. So, again, I'm going to ask you to like. I don't know why I'm doing it, but I'm going to ask you to like because it seems like that's what we do. And I also want to mention, again, that June 1st, my channel will be called Black Hat Models. We're going to change the name. Not really going to change any of the content or anything. Still going to be model cars. Whatever comes up, whatever pops up that I can think of. If you go back and look, if you subscribe and you go back and look, you'll see my display of the 6 different dioramas in it. That's a 16-foot long display. Not to beat it up too bad, but I know any new subscribers maybe haven't seen it, or if you haven't been there at all, you haven't seen it. But that's what got me started with showing my display. It's something very, very nice. And I'm lucky enough to have the room in my house to be able to do it. Anyway, thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.